talked about how in Finhorn they believe that there will be these pockets of light in a very growing dark world, you know, and where people could go and refuel and learn about alternative and different ways of being in the world and relating to each other and creating community, and then they would refuel and go back out to the world where they could take that with them. And that's the idea that I wanted the lighthouse to be, you know. And so now we're building a piece of public space on the front of the property that will have build up into a spire that is a lighthouse.
Where we're sitting right now is what you're creating down there. That's why you used to have a front porch, is so that your neighbors could walk up to you. They're not invading your house or like banging on your door, but you're sitting out there and it's kind of like, hi, I'm here. And your neighbors would come over and sit down and, you know, you'd have a chat. And I think that is expanding, you know, the space that you're creating down there is expanding that to bigger community even.
Not just front porch culture, but you know, sidewalk culture almost.
People came from email I sent out yesterday from the Shared Housing Community Alliance that I've become part of, and we just herked with the shows, and we got 2/3 of it done, and we got the rest of it done today just from people showing up, either from the email or from City Repair, and it's really encouraged me that just by putting it out there in community and having some libation, excuse me, no product placement, having some libation and pizza or Chinese food and beer ready. If you have the Chinese food and beer, they will come.
Used to be blind, now I'm coming down deaf. I'm a gangster, a criminal, no sweet jazzy Jeff. Not rapping to brag, impress the ladies. I want a revolution, not a fat Mercedes. The glorified violence too blatantly destructive. It's a lesson to the rich, meant to be instructive. Defend the status quo and keep taking all the pie. I'll firebomb your wealth and watch it fill up the sky. I was born without property. I was born without property.
Hi, my name's Sarah Stacy Iannarone. I'm the coordinator of the Arleta Triangle Project. We're in our second year of this project. So the first year could have been depressing at times when only the organizers showed up to work. But since we've been at it for a year now, if you look around, you know, at any given time, I mean, it's pouring rain now and we have 10 to 15 people on the site at any given time. So, I mean, it ranges from 1 to 20 maybe, 30 even. The weekends are big. For several years we've been talking with people in positions of power, the Department of Transportation, City Hall, the Office of Neighborhood Involvement, about these traditionally underserved places and what's their fate when, you know, companies, developers, capital interests come and shape a place and people don't have any say in the way they're living. So we petitioned the Department of Transportation to give us some crosswalks, and everyone loves this story, but their explanation for why they couldn't help us was that if they put something in to indicate a place was safe and it's not safe, then they're liable. So basically they can't make any temporary improvements to our place because, well, people might think it was a safe place, and being as it's not, they wouldn't want to be liable for people using it. So regardless of how many pedestrians use our place, we have a community center about a block away, something like 5,000 visitors a week. You know, we're trying to figure out how can we make a safer place for people. And this is what we came up with, a stopping point. Slow down the traffic, slow down the people, just start making other people aware, putting things at a pedestrian scale. And unfortunately, some of our fears became a reality yesterday when one of our volunteers on the project was hit by an automobile while working on the site. And that really reinforced to us, I think, the importance of this project. Also, to have a landmark we can be proud of. I mean, you look to the south and it's known as Felony Flats, you know, and if you want to have, imagine what that does to someone when they say, where do you live? Oh, I live in Hawthorne. Oh, cool. Or I live in Northwestern 3rd Street. How great. Or where do you live? Felony Flats. Like, what does that do to your sense of yourself and the pride that you're going to take in your place? So we decided to build a gateway facing that place known as Felony Flats, welcoming. That is us. You are us, and we're all here together. And we have this gem of a community center. We're going to share it. We're going to take pride in this. So that's what we see in 5 years. Whatever this built thing that we do, you know, the car smashing into the wall or whatever, it's not as important. I think what is important is what we're saying with how it ends up looking and the love that people put into it. So, I mean, I can't really tell you in 5 years, but I'd like to say I hope that it's clean, you know, because people are still picking up the trash, which they did all winter, even though it was covered with tarps and unfinished, and that people are using it. It's full and clean, maybe.
I wrote a thank you, a get well card for Ernie, who got hurt with a car accident. And I couldn't find many cards I thought were appropriate, so I kind of matched a drinking glass with the wildflowers we're seeing around here, so that we can sign it. And then I also got him a notebook to write down, it says life is a journey, to write down what he's grateful for, because gratitude helps you heal.
Hi, I'm Brian Borello, and I'm the artist, I guess you'd say artist in residence for the Urletta Triangle project. We've done any number of workshops with the community at the neighborhood community center, cafes, etc., trying to have design meetings, design charrettes to find out what the aspirations for the neighborhood are. So we've come up with a look that is reminiscent of a streetcar, sort of a turn of the century or early part of the century streetcar feature. The site itself used to be a streetcar turnaround. That's part of the historical nature of this, that it's now been filled in and became a rather weedy and unloved parcel. So this is both a sort of way of relating historically, but also it's a reclamation project where the neighbors, sort of community reclaiming unused property for positive use. We're also trying to do some traffic calming, make it a more safe pedestrian environment so that people can actually live and exist and not be hit by cars. Like creating instances of magic and wonder and imagination that you just sort of stumble upon, and so that's a big part of my inspiration to get involved with a project like this, and that it really is us, people. Like they say, all politics is local. Well, all beauty and creativity is local as well, and it really is what you're doing, you know, and it's not just taking care of your yard and your fence and whatnot, but kind of looking across the street and seeing how you can make that better, and down the street, and, you know, look at the whole city, see how you can actually make it a better place. I think it's real important that neighbors and community members really guide and self-create the kind of communities that they want to live in. And so this is a small, modest little piece of property, a little parcel here, but it means a lot in terms of, again, kind of setting an example, making this sort of, planting this little, it's like a little inoculation that can spread. So we'll see where it goes. Okay.
Down around her ankles is a ring of winged insects, not quite small enough to be considered flies. They've got stingers, so I guess they must be hornets. Insects protect her. Nesting in her navel is a colony of fire ants with jaws strong enough to tear the leather from a shoe. They come out snapping at the slightest sign of trouble. Insects protect her. Even her